Oh, Collider! Good evening and welcome to the Collider Star Wars Rebels recap show here on Collider Video. I'm David Griffin, Grand Moff Griffin, or Death Star David as I'm known to some people. I'm joined by
the guy who loves to say hello, because that's what you do, and I love it. What's going on? I'm Kristian Harloff, and I work here.
And Kristian works here, and we're here to talk to you today about Star Wars Rebels. This is Season 2. We're in Episode 14. It's called Homecoming. Cham Syndulla, the legendary Cham Syndulla himself, from such things as Clone Wars, the famous The Lords of the Sith book that you and I both loved. Kristian, we're going to go positives, negatives. Start with our positives. What did you enjoy about Homecoming?
The positives is more development in regards to Hera and to see kind of where she came from, and obviously getting to see the great Cham Syndulla, who I've been a big fan of from not even the Clone Wars, but Lords of the Sith. Watching that fun kind of... It played on to what happened in New Dawn, to where Kanan is clearly interested in Hera, and you could see him kind of wanting to suck up to her dad, and that all the way that played out, and even the fact that, like I told you, I knew it, that he had his own agenda, and the way that kind of played out with his crew, their crew, and the attack, and I liked the way the episode was written for the most part, but I really thought that Hera shined in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think they did a great job. I like Cham. I love how, Kanan was like, sit up straight, boy. Like, come on, sit up straight. Be presentable, and just wanting to impress him was nice.
Calling people the different names.
Names. I loved Hera when she reverted back. I don't know what accent she's using or what she's trying. I don't know what the voiceover director was like. Hey, sound like this. But I like that she kind of went back to her, I guess, native language. Trying to speak the way her father does, and it kicked in. But then when she got angry at him, she went back to her, I guess, common tongue, the basic language. So I thought that was kind of nice too. Cham Syndulla was represented in a way that you called, Kristian. I have to give you credit. You said that there was going to be they're going to be at odds. They weren't going to see the way.
His agenda is different.
I don't want to call him a terrorist, but he's a freedom fighter. He likes to see things blow up.
Yeah.
He's all about things blowing up. Remember in Lords of the Sith, that opens with the whole mission trying to blow up a Death Star.
Yeah.
Which happened to have the Emperor and Darth Vader on it. They're trying to blow up a Death Star here, and I love.
I think attack first.
I think Sabine's like, "Hey, you want to blow something up here?" And then in the end, he does get to blow something up, but completely different agendas, Kristian.
Yeah, I thought so too. The two different agendas, and then for that, I thought, and I'll talk about this a little bit more in things I didn't like, but I thought that Cham was way more true to how he was in the Clone Wars than how he was in Lords of the Sith. I think that, and that's obviously, I think Dave Filoni kind of playing more off of the character that he helped create. And I would have, liked to see a little bit more of the character that I learned to love in Paul S. Kemp's novel. But then again, it's about 15 years later, or whatever it was, 13, 14 years later, and people change. But I did like where the crew was, how the crew, anytime that the crew has to band together to work together, even they did with Space Whales and everything, so whenever they work together, it really plays out well, and it did it again this time. They're a really tight team, but it also shows there's been too many happy things happening.
Yeah.
Too much happiness.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We read the comments, folks. Read the comments. Want to see what you think. I've seen a lot of frustration in the comments. That's not a Kristian, thankfully, but at just because everybody saw the trailer.
Yeah,
we saw the trailer. We saw all the cool, awesome things. We got yellow lightsabers and got Yoda, and we have possibly Sith temples we're going to visit, and Sith holocrons, and Vader and Ahsoka, and the Old Master.
Yeah, but where is it?
Where are they?
Right.
I mean, Kristian, maybe we're going to get into some negatives. Like, are you? I like these episodes. I didn't mind Space Whales. I like Space Whales last. Hyperspace Whales were cool. Yeah. But are they just kind of, are they dragging it out? Could this have been maybe a 13 to 14 episode season instead of doing 22 or 21?
It's time to move. It's time to get going and give us, we talked this last week, let's give us the meat here too, because I liked this episode. I did love it. I was speaking of Campy. Campy had hated this episode. And we were both super excited about this because of how we really learned about Cham in Lords of the Sith. And he wasn't that guy. It was almost cliched, and I was kind of upset that I nailed it, that he was good. Just the way it seemed to me like, oh, okay, they could have done it a little better to where he has his agenda, goes about it, but still I don't know. It just seemed like I've seen this story. Like, okay, they're on opposite ends, and they tie up years of frustration and being, not
a single episode.
Yeah, not talking, and then by the end, oh, you know what? You're right. And then Cham's guys, who are super loyal to Cham, hear Hera speaking over the PA and go, yeah, all right, we're with you now. And it's like, no, the Cham that was that much of a leader, like no matter what he said, they follow him into, like if you read Lords of the Sith, like they are behind that dude because he knows how to make it all go down. So, and it's also because there's only so much time that you have in these little episodes. But this is where I just wish, and normally Dave Filoni is great with the rest of the canon stuff. He's great. He's the guy that brings in a lot of things from the old legends and has made them canon. He did it with Darth Bane, and he seems like he's doing it to kind of tie in Force Awakens. But I think, I almost feel like someone said, hey, Dave, you want to read Lords of the Sith? And he's like, nah, I know enough about Cham.
He missed that part. He missed that one. Also, too, I want to go back to a little bit more to the positives. I really enjoyed the ship design for the, I don't know, it's like almost like an aircraft carrier, I want to call it, because it just was housing the TIE bombers that
and they needed that.
Cool.
I like that element of the story too, that why they needed that.
Right, and Cham wanted to blow it up.
Right.
But he's like, no, because the thing is, Cham, as great of a leader as he is, he's kind of a short game guy.
Yeah.
He sees his people and only his people, whereas Hera is looking at the early stages of the Republic. She's looking at the Rebellion, looking at this wide scope. Like, we have to protect everybody. To do that, we need new technology. We need supplies. We just can't be, if you blow something up, you can't use it again.
Right.
So I think if we go back to Lords of the Sith and Hera's in that situation, maybe she would try to overtake the Star Destroyer and take it as opposed to just blowing it up.
Right.
Because Cham's all about making statements and putting fear into people.
Yeah, he was all about trying to just take out the Emperor and Vader.
Right. Like, which makes sense.
Yeah, sure. You take out the two leaders, and he was younger at the time, so that's why I kind of said, okay, he's changed in those years. But I just, it was a little bit of a letdown from what I was expecting after being such a fan of that novel. But going forward, they've got to be careful now, because like you said, they're dragging it out because there's so many episodes. You got to be careful, and you got to really give us something that's going to make us go, wow, okay, that's the show. Because I understand some of the comments. I get it. You get Zeb in space, with the mystical staff, and then you get space whales, and now you get this one. It's like, okay, but what are we doing now? So we're getting to that point, right? And I don't want Rebels to get to that point, but we're getting to that point that you've got to jump. You got to jump now and take us into the, we forgot about space whales.
Right.
It's time to find Darth Maul.
Or every now, and I know it's about advertising and everything, but if they can, maybe every now and then do an hour-long episode.
I think they're going to close out.
They're going to close, right? And we had Siege of Lothal, which is kind of considered a movie, TV movie, but maybe just every now and then maybe do episodes combined. I think maybe that'll be like, okay,
last year too, like mid-season finale.
They do it every now and then, but now it's like it does feel like we're dragging out a little bit. And I'm just saying, I see the comments, I see the complaints. I just want to let you all know that we feel them too. We feel it too. I mean, we're having some issues with that.
Sure.
Going forward.
But that being said, though, I'm still very much on board with this show because the reason why is that they know where they're going. They know what's, and I think that it's also for having these shorter shows. When you have this show and you watch it as a full season, I think people are going to wind up watching this show, like, getting it back and seeing it on Blu-ray, whatever, and going, okay, wait a minute. This is as a full season here. Just I can keep watching it. It's phenomenal. But because you have to wait a week because you just got somewhat of a filler. The other thing we haven't addressed, by the way, and I've been meaning to address this both on this show and on Jedi Council, is the lame move that I don't know if it was Disney or who it was. Maybe it was I don't think it was Disney. I think it was more Amazon or iTunes, whoever did it. But apparently, when you bought the season on,
I keep hearing about somebody commenting this.
Yeah, so when you bought the season, when it came back after 2.5, they listed it as season 3 and made you pay again. And people went nuts over it. And I don't know what the full deal is now, whether or not it is, if there were refunds sent. I know my brother told me that they said they were going to issue a refund and he hasn't gotten it yet. But to me, like, that's like, who dropped the ball on that?
Yeah, that's dropping the ball. But the problem is animated programs do that sometimes. I know with Young Justice, when that was
2.5?
Yeah, they'd be like that. I know I was a big Gargoyles fan, and Disney started re-releasing the DVDs on Gargoyles, and I picked those up. It was like season 2.5. I'm like, why am I paying for like a half of a season? And it's animated. It's a half hour.
Right.
So, that might be like 23 episodes, but it's like, come on, it's like 12 if you combine all of them. So that is frustrating. That's a letdown, too, on the fans.
That's a big letdown on the fans.
Animated shows, I was a huge Legends of Korra, Avatar: The Last Airbender, they don't do a great job of advertising when things are on, when they're coming back. For some reason, like dramas, it's all over the place. It's on Twitter, everywhere. I feel like animated programs still kind of struggle with that a little bit.
Yeah.
And you got to realize the fans are all kinds of ages, not just kids. We watch them.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, we're all
we're doing this show.
We're doing a show. We love it. Oh, we love it. Yeah. Kristian, going forward, what we ask this every week until it happens, are we going to get to the meat now?
Well, I mean, how many episodes are left? 4?
Maybe, with like the combined finale, maybe 5.
5.
March 30th, I think, is the last day.
I do think that we're getting into the meat here, and I think actually no. I think that we're going to have one more. I think that because we have that Callus and Zeb episode.
Where they get stranded. That could be good, though.
It could be really a good episode, but again, it's just going to be about them. It's not going to be about the overall rebellion. Remember, when we were sold on this show for Rebels, the name of the show is Rebels. It was about the events leading up to Episode 4 and everything that happened to starting the rebellion and all that. So, I think that the last 4 episodes really have to deliver on the show, because I thought it started really great, and even though I don't think that these shows are necessarily filler, because I think they all have a part of the story, I'm a little bit let down from what I was expecting in the season to know what I've gotten. But that being said, I do think that if the next 5 episodes can deliver, this show can still knock my socks off.
I think so too. I'm excited because I think everything we saw, obviously Star Wars: Force Awakens back in December, awesome. The books, Lords of the Sith, Aftermath, not so great. Lost Stars, fantastic book. The comics have been good. Everything's been delivering. Everything's been on point from Lucasfilm with their collaboration with Disney now. So I think because the series has kind of slowed a little bit, we have all that energy coming off of Star Wars: The Force Awakens still in theaters right now. If you want to see it again, it's like come on, I want to get that energy back.
Yeah,
and I haven't felt that energy. I think
since that fight with Ahsoka and the Inquisitors.
Exactly, that was awesome episode. With the Force babies, young babies, like she was rescued. That was awesome. And since then, I haven't felt that energy. I want that energy back. Yeah. Do you want that energy back? Let us know what you think, of course, in the comment section below. This was our review of Homecoming. We're going to be here every week there is for Star Wars Rebels that are coming out. Kristian, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me a lot more here on Collider, because if you didn't watch Movie Talk today, we announced a pretty special deal that the schmoes are coming to Collider full-time, and myself and Mark Ellis will be hosting Movie Talk from Monday through Thursday. Mark will be hosting on Monday and Tuesday. I will be hosting on Wednesday and Thursday. Still be doing Collider Jedi Council. We have 3 brand new shows coming over. A lot of exciting stuff happening here. You can follow me at Kristian Harloff and hashtag Collider Jedi Council to get some of your questions on the air.
Kristian is doing big things. I'm trying to follow in his footsteps. I'm going to be on the Arrow After recap show tonight. Ann Campia, I think, is out of town, so I'm going to be filling in for her tonight. So look for me there. As always, I'm on the Flash recap show with John Campia and Star Wars Rebels. And I'm on Twitter as well, at GriffinDE. Can't wait to talk to you next week about some more Star Wars Rebels, and we'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.